Hi, everybody. I'm making sure that this is operating here before I get into too much conversation here. So, good morning, everybody. This is Meredith Herrenbrook. How are you? I am with Living Your Awesome, and I wanted to chat with you. Wish you a wonderful, hopefully, great weekend. I'm in San Rafael, California, and I want you guys to chat with me. Talk to me about what has defeated you, what has made you frustrated, and how did you move through it. So I have to admit, this morning I got a little defeated. I got defeated by my 6 year old, and I'm 44, and I got seriously defeated. And I gotta tell you, it's those moments where you just get a little check. You just get a, wow, I'm really not handling this very well. Where do I need to kind of fix? Where do I need to just breathe into that moment and stop being defeated? And, this past year has been so crazy. There's a lot of transition. There's a lot of great opportunities for us to learn and grow and not be attached to the outcome. And I guess that's what I want to talk to you guys about is I think why we get so defeated is because we are so attached to the outcome of how we feel it should be or what the result should be. And when we get attached to what we feel it should be, then we narrow opportunity. We throw out all the awesome things that could be, it could be even better. And anyway, so I'm going to really get into the details here. And it was over the stupidest thing, but I would not let go. I would not let go. So even though I'm a life coach, I'm still learning here. So anyway, so we're having breakfast, and my daughter, we're having cereal, and she doesn't like a particular milk. And, it has a little cream into it. And she just doesn't like seeing the little cream bits to it because it's not homogenized. Anyway, and I said, well, you like whipped cream, right? Yes, I like whipped cream. So if I put whipped cream, right, I'm trying to reason with her. So when I ask her all these comparative things, and she just starts crying and freaking out and just will not have it. And I just blew my top, and I was defeated. And whatever it is, but it was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe you've been there where you're being a little unreasonable, that you're charged somehow, and you just can't quite steer your car out of this disastrous path. And anyway, so I just, it created communication breakdown. I did not stay present. I did not just breathe into it and go, all right, how do we move through this because it's cereal, right? But it was a battle of wills. And when we have a battle of wills and we're acting from separation and I need to win sort of atmosphere, it doesn't really work very well. And so I'd love for you to think about a time where you just got defeated and why you got defeated. Because when we look at kind of how we're creating our experience, we're always creating our experience. But when we look into how we're creating our experience, we can find the solution into finding a better strategy or let go of some old belief systems or ideas about how the world has to be. And when we can kind of open ourselves up to new opportunities and new ways of thinking, then our world opens up. So, anyway, so I totally blew it this morning, but I'm going to try and take it as a how do I create connection with my child? How do I create love, right? If I'm coming from love and wholeness and not like an end goal, then we're better off for it. We are, when we create connection with our children, with other people, with employees, employers, and so forth, and we go, I'm doing my best. Okay, how can we create a win-win situation? And I think that's where that's where I think we can really shine, and that's where we can come together as a community and as a, um, you know, not when we are coming from divisiveness, separation. I have to win, you have to lose, etc. And we're just in that, that ego, right? That ego, that frustration. Um, we're never gonna win. It's just gonna suck. And I think I don't know. The past 4 years has been interesting. I'll be honest. Everyone wants to be heard. Here's the thing: is I think although the last 4 years politically in the United States has been, I don't know what to call it, but what I have noticed is sometimes you have to battle things out to level the playing field. Sometimes you have to battle things out to find new opportunities and greater ways of thinking. So sometimes I was talking with this guy on a podcast, which was fantastic. His name is Gary, uh, and it's Everything Imaginable. And I was talking about sometimes I think war, no one really wants war, but sometimes it really fleshes out what we're really striving for. What are we really wanting in the end? Do we want to just defeat the person, or do we want to be heard? Do we want to um, be acknowledged? You know, if you guys have been watching my podcast or my videos here, all we ever really want is to be safe and loved and heard and cared for. It all comes to kind of survival stuff, and it makes us feel happy and it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we can get to the next step. It feels makes us feel we are part of the community. All those things that we have had for millennia, we need to continue to move forward. So I got totally defeated this morning, and I really, um, it's those moments of defeat where we can, when it's big enough, we have to look at what was happening, why was it happening, and how can we make it a little better. Um, so what I came away with is, again, when you hit those moments of real frustration, what are you attached to? I got attached to the fact that it was ridiculous that my daughter could not separate the idea of whipped cream to milk and all these things, and she just made such a big fuss about it. And it was so unreasonable to me, right? I had my idea of how I was thinking, and she had her way of her thinking. And so my daughter and I were at an impasse. So who needs to shift? Well, the adult kind of needs to shift, you know? And so if we are trying to move beyond being defeated, we're defeated because our paradigm, the way of our thinking, is just not working. And we can get mad at it. We can get pissed off and just yell and scream and yell at the world and outsource all of our anger and stomp and throw plates and whatever. We can do that, sure. And then when the energy passes, we go, all right, well, now what? Now what are we going to do? We can still think this way and come up with the same result because you've tried it over and over and over again. And has it worked? Has it worked well enough? Maybe the answer for you, and definitely for me this morning, was it's not working. Yelling is not working. That's just creating separation. That's just creating no good thing. No good thing at all. And so how do we move beyond defeat? Is we have to look at those situations where it's big enough and it's sucky enough. That's really how we learn, is when it's sucky enough and we're hitting that wall of it's not working. The universe and the people around you are saying it's not working. It's either you have to shift your thinking or you should shift your behavior. And NLP really operates on three main tenets: is how are you creating your experience through what you're doing, what you're feeling, and what you're thinking. And often we look at people's behaviors as you need to change your behavior. But the behavior is just the manifestation of what you're thinking and feeling. So if we look at what you're thinking and feeling and why you're thinking it and what kind of the whole framework is, then when you operate at that level, then you can make shifts. We don't just make change by doing something different. But if we think and feel and believe differently, or in a new way, or more of one way and less of another way, and we feel safe doing it and we feel empowered doing it, then the shift will be pretty much automatic, right? So for example, if little kids, I used to kind of fight with my kids on, like, just put your shoes on right before you go outside because the ground is cold, the ground is wet, you could slip. Like, I see all the values and all the rewards of putting the shoes on. The kids don't understand the value yet. And so you can tell them until you're blue in the face, Or you just go, okay, I know they're not going to die, so go out and see how that is for you. And the direct experience gives them an assessment of what the rewards are. Is it rewarding to have cold feet, wet feet, going to slip, fall on their butt, everything else? Or do we go, all right, great, so, and you just sit there like Buddha, like this neutral, beautiful person, go, so how was that for you? With hopefully non-judgmental, non-I told you so sort of thing that I think parents can get into of like, okay, this is a lesson for me too, that I just need to chill and have them have that direct experience. That's how humans operate from 0 years old to 150 years old. That is how we work. So we operate on how do we get rewarded? And the reward, the payoff, we're always going to survival. Like, are we going to survive the next moment? Are we going to feel safe? And are we going to be loved? And if those ring our bells, then we are going to store that reward away. And so if we get rewarded, then we're going to have that behavior, right? And so then the experience creates the belief, and the belief creates kind of the experience, and it kind of wraps around and keeps going around. And if you have questions about this, or if I'm not being super clear on this, please email me or text me down below. I want to hear from you. So that's how we operate. And so rather than fighting what the world is telling us, we have to, I think it's more useful to look at, all right, so am I getting rewarded enough for this experience? And if you're not, then look at, okay, what do I believe about this experience? And does that really hold up anymore? And what would be more useful? And so you kind of have to do an inner assessment. And sometimes it's really hard to do it ourselves because we're always the last to know that it's actually a belief. Because how we've structured our world through millions of experiences, maybe trillions, and all those little beautifully woven beliefs and thoughts and everything, they start from 0 years old or even before, because we have consciousness in the womb, right? We're kind of feeling and experiencing stuff in the womb. We might not be hearing much or really noticing tons, but we are getting information. So just imagine all these things pre-verbal, before we're about 2.5, that we are assessing and learning and getting rewarded from, or not. And then all that information we file away to use again because it either worked or it didn't work. And then we try better the next time, right? So we're creating these neural pathways on how to behave and how to think and how to feel, what works and what doesn't work. So when we're defeated or we're depressed even, I honestly think depression is really the final moment before we let go. I'm not talking about all depression, but a certain layer of depression is the, wow, there are so many things that are not working right now that I am just like, the disillusionment is kind of going away. And what is, I think, useful, if we can look at it this way, is that depression takes away the filters, all the stuff we've built over, all the illusions about what is really going on. So when we are hitting defeat, we're hitting maybe depression, and we're going 99.999% of what I am hearing, thinking, and receiving from this experience totally freaking sucks. And you're pissed, and you're resisting. And you're going, I don't want this. This sucks. And anyway, so you're just, or just at the end of, rather than anger, the layers that are more apathetic is like more of the depression. And then you sit there. But what's so great about that is then you're not resisting it anymore, and you go, all right, so I'm depressed and I'm sad. I'm apathetic, I'm not moving. But then if you breathe into it and go, but what if there's a little bit of hope? And what if I can maybe start to look at another way of thinking? What would that be? What might that look like? And so this is what I love about NLP is we go, okay, well, what would you like? And I remember being asked, what would I like when I was starting NLP and I was taking the classes, and I go, my God, I don't even know if anyone's really asked me that. They might have asked me for little things, but I never felt that someone really looked at me and go, what do you want out of life? How do you want to be? Like, what do you see in the future? And so this is such a great opportunity. Every moment is a great opportunity for us to go, what do I want? How am I getting myself there? And so if you are in the defeated place, even if it's a small moment or a big moment, like a career change or a relationship shift, or I mean, whatever it is, it's that how am I seeing the truth versus the illusion, all the stuff I have placed on the experience? Because that is where you will grow, that is where you will find a new path that will work for you. So we're looking at what was the old paradigm, what's the old illusions, all the stuff I was telling myself or I felt the world was telling me that was kind of working. But now here we are, and we're defeated, we're depressed, we're just like, okay. But what's beautiful, again, I'm going to say this because I want you to look at every single moment as an opportunity, whatever you're feeling. And feelings are temporary, but let that be a guide to you to point to you that you are not your feelings, that they are a guidepost, a way to look at, wow, all right, so I'm mad. All right, what's beneath the anger? Okay, apathy, sadness. Okay, what's beneath that? What am I believing about myself and the world? What am I doing that's maybe not working? Okay, great. So then I'm saying, all right, it's not working. Okay, cool. That's okay if it's not working because you can always shift it. You can always change. You can always do more of something, less of something, even though it might be uncomfortable for a while. But if you have an end game that you know where you will be rewarded greatly and you'll feel awesome about yourself and whole, and your position in life will be better for yourself or your family, then if you know the end game, you can definitely work through those little steps to get there. So if you're defeated, you're sad, you're bummed, go, okay, so what's not working? And let's look at what I would like. And what don't I like? And how can I shift those? So as you see, we can't change other people. We can't change those events that we have had in the past, but we can change our thoughts and our feelings. And when we change those, then we can change our actions. And it's not like we're going to necessarily consciously change our actions, but the actions will naturally be derived from what we think and we believe, right? So it's all this internal awesome work that we do. So it's January now. It's almost February. Spring is coming, and there's more light coming. There's more hope, I think. I think with more light, there's more hope. When there's more finding yourself and grounding, um, and really tuning in. I'm going to kind of angle here so you can see my chest. When you're tuning into more of your heart, the better off your mind will be. I've been reading this book actually. Oh boy, I think it's the Jesus Teachings, and it's by this woman who is a priest, I believe. For Episcopalian, but she does Christian Gnosticism, and she talks about other, other ways of following Christianity, because there's so many different ways to do it, not just kind of from the Greek Roman lineage, which is more dogmatic. And so anyway. So I was reading this page the other day, and she was talking about meditation and how Jesus did a lot of meditation, and he brought a lot of wisdom from the East. And so it was so great because I'd been trying to figure out how do I explain meditation, because I'm working on all these videos for my 30-day happiness challenge, which is on my website. I would love for you guys to sign up. And it's packaged with a lot of other videos and goodies and ebooks and stuff to help us, bring ourselves together in a more cohesive way. But anyway, so she talks about what is meditation. And she said, meditation is where you can put your mind in your heart. And I just go, wow, it was such a beautiful, simple sentence to go, wow, yes, it's how to let go of our mind, all that we're grabbing onto, how we think things should be, and all that little stuff that's floating about that we're grabbing onto, is letting that stuff go, and where our mind can then sink down into our heart, which is really our center, and where our true love and compassion come from, and where I think true wisdom comes from. When we come from love and not separation and not ego and not all these little things that are me versus you sort of stuff, all these consciousness challenges, if you will, when we are from wholeness and peace, right? And breathing calmly and centeredness, right? If you if you breathe into that right now with me and you are feeling that, do you feel better? I bet you would feel a little better. It's like, imagine just not being out there thinking of the million things you have to do. And if those thoughts come through your head, just don't grab onto them, go thank you, and let them go. All you do is just notice, and that's it. Don't give any judgment to it or anything else. But if you're breathing into your heart and you're breathing into your feet and you're just here in this moment, there is no conflict, and you're at peace. Being at peace is not in conflict. You're just here now and you're feeling awesome. And so the putting your mind in your heart, I think was just a beautiful phrase. And I want to leave that with you today, because that is what I'm really wanting to focus in my 30-day happiness challenge. What I ultimately am striving for myself, and I'm hoping to guide you guys through, is when you are in conflict, how do you deal with it? How can I help you get through those moments and those old belief systems that are just not working? You know, a lot of people have had traumas, have had tough parenting, or had tough parents or childhoods, and we create we create tough stuff for ourselves, and we go, we're 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, and we go, why does my life suck? Why am I having such a hard time? Even though I keep shifting jobs, even though I keep shifting relationships, why does it keep not working out? It's because we are stuck in old paradigms. We're stuck in old systems and things that it's just not working. So we can be defeated, but then we're going to stay defeated because the old stuff isn't working. And if you want to keep operating that way, I'm just going to tell you, I have tried those ways, right? And when the universe just keeps saying it's not working, it's just not working. And if you want to keep going, well, then it's just going to be harder and harder. But if you want to have a life that is centered and calm, and you're having better friends and better connections and better just feeling good. I mean, just imagine sitting on a beach or wherever your favorite place is, whether it's by a waterfall or with your family or having a cup of coffee, wherever that bliss point is. If you want to feel that more often, then you have to find out what is working for you and do more of that. And if you feel guilty or frustrated and you're not wanting to do those things, then why? Like, why is there that conflict? And let's look into those conflicts and let's cruise through letting those old things go and shifting the sand, so then we can create a greater pathway into our future where we are more directed, more focused, and more aligned with ourselves. When we're more aligned with ourselves and we have our mind more in our hearts more often throughout all of our experiences, guess what is going to happen? We're going to be more powerful. We're going to be more connected. We're going to be more focused, and I don't want to say blissful because I don't want to undermine that we have to do the focused hard work, right? We can't be distracted all the time and just assume that we're going to get there. We do have to do the work. But when we're more aligned and in our hearts, then we can actually do it with more happiness and ease. And when I am in that more often and I meditate every day, which I need to do more of, and this happiness challenge is going to be great for me because I'm going to be doing this with you every morning. And I'm going to have these videos midday on like all the structures of how we're creating our experience and emotional icebergs and all of these things. looking at how we're creating that and how we can make our world better, is the meditation is getting us centered to who we are, how we can not grab onto all of our old illusions and let them go, and know that we will be safe and loved and cared for in the future more easily. We just have to figure out what our alignment is and not base our alignment on other people, on other paradigms that may have worked for them and may be working for them. But let's listen to ourselves, our hearts, and trust. Okay, if you believe in God or whatever created us, or we're here now, it's okay, well, we're here now. And I can't believe it's an accident or that there's actual chaos and that we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We do. We just need to step in with a little bit more trust. So put your mind in your hearts, breathe into yourselves. Maybe do this as a daily thing for about 5 minutes every morning just to start, and write down what's not working for you. What is, and how can I get there? And if you want me to help you, I do coaching. I can do free 20-minute consultations to help you directly figure out how I can help you, what you need to do, where you want to go. And I just wish you guys a bright, beautiful, wonderful weekend. It's raining here, and we're so grateful for the rain. We really need it. And so rain can, in some ways, seem negative, but it just brings life. So have a wonderful weekend, you guys. I hope you take care of yourself, and I will see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching.